Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's the Bottom Line. Tommy Cordell, Elbows Up Dirt Productions. We're here in Rick Potter's shop. That's right, Rick Potter's shop here in historic Everett, Pennsylvania. It's cold out, Rick. I tell you what, buddy, but we made the trek and you got it nice and warm in here. This is a little bit of a road show for the Bottom Line, obviously, and the Bottom Line's normally the news on Monday nights, you know, and we just flipped it up here a little bit, and there isn't a whole lot going on. It's starting to get revved up here with racing, so we just made a Thursday night, got in the vehicle and headed this way. And we'd like to tell you the Bottom Line is brought to you by Chaz's Used Auto Parts. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Chaz's Used Auto Parts in Taneytown, 30-plus years in the business. You get down to see Scrap Daddy. He'll fix you right up with anything you need used car-wise. Fred, how are we looking over there? We good? Okay, Freddie says we're good. We're good. That's what we want to hear. And I tell you, you know, we've been wanting to get up here. We've been talking to Rick, and, you know, we were excited to get here. We were at one of his events here a couple weeks ago in Breezewood. It was a wonderful event he had there, done a lot of wonderful things. And I tell you, this guy right here, we're sitting by this machine right here, and we're going to talk about that 15R. And, man, that's a sharp-looking machine. First and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to run a little bit of the news here, what little bit we got, and then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty, Rick. Okay, so our news here is brought to you by Dan's Auto Repair. That's right. Dan's Auto Repair, ladies and gentlemen, downtown East Side, Rouserville. You go see Chad. He'll fix you up. Major, minor, tune-ups, overhauls, state inspection, the whole 9 yards. That's right. So, first and foremost, we want to talk a little bit about Kyle Lee. We had some information out there that came out there a couple weeks ago. Kyle Lee, and we know he's been driving, you know, with the Timmons machine, okay, the 2T, the General. And it appears that Mr. Timmons, they're stepping back a little bit with the super late model racing. And, you know, that left Kyle Lee with a open set of hands there to get behind the wheel. So I told Fred, we were up to see Kyle the other week, I told Fred when we left, you know, I said, if that guy ever needs a ride, it won't take long, he'll get in something. And wouldn't you know, he did. He'll be in the Bruce Kane Racing, that's right, the BKR, Bruce Kane Racing, 358 limited late model for several shows this year. And, you know, we're looking forward to seeing that. He's obviously no stranger there to working with Bruce Kane. He's piloted his machines before, there's no question about it, and I think things will go well. Obviously, Bruce Kane has a pretty good arsenal of equipment and gets around the racetrack. We also see the Taylor Farling. He will be splitting with super late models and limited late models this year. So he'll be doing a little bit of both, okay? Super late model racing and limited late model racing. Justin Weaver, we know the forces come together there with Sean Jones and the 32J, his owner, and obviously Chaz was involved with that, and Justin piloted that car the final 3 Appalachian Mountain Speed Week races last year, and done pretty well in that 32J. Well, the 32J on February 18th will be in Florida. They're going to be making the trip down to Florida and doing some racing in that super late model. And you know, anybody, it makes the trip to Florida no matter what they're running this time of year to race. Kudos to them. That's no easy thing. We're blue-collar racers up here. I mean, we don't have, like, gazillions of fancy things going on, you know what I mean? And you make the best of it and get through it. And we wish him the best luck. And I'm sure we'll be talking to Justin before he goes, or definitely right after he gets back. And I believe he'd be down there for like 10 days, give or take. York Racing Extravaganza starts tomorrow night, okay, in York, Pennsylvania. A wonderful event there, and it'll be running tomorrow night and Saturday. Elbows Up Dirt Productions will be in the house on Saturday with the mic and the video, and Fast Freddy will be in the video. We'll be walking around, doing some talking, and taking a look at things down there. Everybody always gets to itching to get out and see everybody, and especially with this weather, my Lord. Port Royal, we've seen they made a notation, I believe it was last week or the week before, somewhere around there, that they will not allow the 525 motors this year in the limited late models. So no 525s at Port. Hagerstown put out information. They will now have extreme stocks. And from what I'm reading, extreme stocks combines pure stocks and semi-lates. Okay. And there's been some yays, some nays, and some woos about that, which is typical with anything. And, so that's new for this year. Extreme stocks will be at Hagerstown. We also see that the Frank Saggy Memorial returns. It returns to the capital of dirt track racing there at Conicajig Avenue in Hagerstown, Maryland. And we will see being honored this year. We will see Marvin Winters. We will see Gary Stuhler. And we will see Roy Deese Jr. So Winters, Stuhler, and Deese Jr. will be honored this year in the Frank Saggy Memorial at Hagerstown Speedway. If you tuned in last night, you seen we were at Freeze Motorsports, Freeze and Company, East Coast Legends there at their new place, 800 Lincoln Way West in Chambersburg. We walked around there with Mike Donald, the series promoter and store manager. Their schedules is up and out there. It's a robust schedule. Them guys always put on good racing, and it was a pleasure to talk to them. Path Valley, the small track with the big action, Rick. Path Valley, they've been putting in some new bleachers, some additional bleachers, increased lighting, and starting to work on increasing the size of the pit area again. We were involved with that, Fred and I, 2 years ago digging, and they're increasing the pit area. Myself and Mark the Shark will be splitting the announcing duties this year, 2 times for me a month and 2 times for Mark the Shark a month. That's right. Their opener is April 4th, the Clay Breaker. That's right, April 4th. And I like to say it'll be here before you know it. It needs to get here quicker. You know what I'm saying? It needs to get here quicker, but it will soon be here. It will soon be here. So once again, that's a little bit of newsreel there. We to add to it, we know that I'm watching it right here in front of us, Rick. It was a Volusia, correct? Yeah, and we seen that. The modifieds were there. The likes of Off the Belly was there, and Dixon, and so the whole crew down there. They're running down there, and in the 410s, or maybe it's the 360. 360s are on there right now running. And I think I seen Zierfoss was heading that way. Yeah, Zierfoss was heading that way. We know that Hardy was just down and won a race there in crates. It'll come to me here in a second. It wasn't. It'll come to me. But he was victorious. We know that. Correct. Sunshine. Volusia. Sorry. We also know other news we were talking about today. It's not brand new. It was out last week or so that Lane Snook will be piloting that Jerry Foster number 5 select shows, that modified machine. And I don't know. Is he running the night, Rick? Okay, so I know it's in the making. Several drivers we've seen, such as Troutman, have decided to forego this weekend due to cold weather. Obviously, there's some kind of nor'easter, cyclone snow bomb, they call it, that's working its way up the coast there, and hopefully it leaves us be. But anyways, that's the news. Dan's Auto Repair brought to you by, I'm going to put that down. Look at that, Rick. And once again, we are here and Elbows Up Dirt Productions here with Rick Potter and Rick Potter's beautiful shop here. And this is brought to you by Chance's Used Auto Parts. That's right. In Tawnytown, Maryland, ladies and gentlemen, you go see Scrap Daddy. I tell you what, if he doesn't have it, you don't need it. Okay? That's how we look at it, because he's got it all. Rick, man, I tell you, it was about, I think, 13 degrees when we walked from the outside in. You get in here, man, I could take a nap. It feels good.
Yeah, it's nice and warm in here. I try to keep her warm. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. I tell you, Rick, you're flanked to your right here of a beautiful, and I mean a beautiful race machine. A Cruza is what they're calling it, correct? Cruza, which, you tell me, what's it stand for?
Crate Racing USA, Cruza Street Stocks.
Cruza Street Stocks, okay. Freddie, we good? Okay, what Freddie says, we're good, we're good. Cruza Street Stock, okay, Crate Racing USA. So that automatically tells me that that's a crate motor.
Yes, but you have an option to run an open 358 also.
Okay, so you have an option, 358 open, or you can run a crate motor. Okay. Now, it's funny because I pull in, and the trailer, it's, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, obviously if it's like 12 degrees out, 13 degrees, the trailer's opened up, it's ready to go because, Rick, when are you guys rolling out of here to head down the road?
Well, as soon as we wrap up with this, we're going to load the car and the lift and head down the road to Norman Park, Georgia for Needmore Speedway.
Okay, Norman Park, Georgia, Needmore Speedway. So we're going to shut the camera down, and these guys are going to drop the car and roll it in and get in and roll.
Yep. Should be there by noon or 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then we race tomorrow night and Saturday night at Needmore. Then we got a couple days off to do some maintenance and head to Screvron Speedway for the winter freeze. We're going to be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, good deal, good deal. I tell you, taking a look at this car, Rick, like I said, I can't tell you enough, and I know the people's obviously, and we'll get a better look at it here towards the end of the show, that this thing's immaculate. And correct me if I'm wrong, this was an ARC machine, a piece down there. Roy Anderson, David Kaiser, and we can't forget our friend Mikey Corbin down there. So they've put this thing, did a lot of the work on this.
Yes, they built the chassis. I brought it back here and assembled some stuff, and they take it back and do a body and then go down there and set it up. It's probably been down there twice now just going over things, going for this race here.
Well, I got to tell you, when we were down at Roy's this past late summer, almost fall, we went down to Roy's and talked with them, and this machine was down there. They were working on it then.
Yes, that's right when they were finishing up putting the body on, I believe. He was there.
Okay. I knew we were checking it out and thought, man, look at this thing. This thing's immaculate. But you've chosen to run this series, Cruiser Street Stocks this year. Tell us a little bit about that, Rick.
Well, it's the Southern Dirt Street Stock Series, and it starts in Needmore in March is the first points race, and we leave there and go to, I believe it's Kentucky. I might be out of order, but Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana is where we'll be racing all the states.
Okay, so you're going to get a little bit of traveling in there, and this loading up and going down the road is going to become pretty familiar.
Yes, it's something I always wanted to do. It makes you kind of feel like you're a traveling big-time late model guy, but it's for street stocks.
There's nothing wrong with that because I was taking a look at that schedule, and that's a pretty progressive schedule, impressive schedule, and I can almost guarantee with knowing very little about it, you probably get some pretty good meat down there to race against.
Oh, yeah, like I was just telling Wayne, Tyler Nicely, he's running the dirt modified. He's like 3-time national champion in the modified. He's going to follow the series. Ivan Lloyd out of Florida. Trent Ivy, all late model guys and stuff's going to be following that series.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, Rick. That must be pretty cool. You're pretty excited about that to go down there. Anytime you can compete against folks of that caliber, is that kind of fills the cup up right there a little bit just to do it.
Just to do something like that and make the show because they average 60 to 80 cars per race, and then like the Street Stock Nationals, I think they get 120 some. So just to make a 24-car field, it's pretty cool.
Wow. I tell you, Rick, I got to know you a little bit because obviously we cover Bedford and get up there. I raced at Bedford when I ran limited late models or tried to. But no, we get to Bedford obviously and cover a lot there. And I've kept after you the last couple of years and always like talking and saying, there's our Rick Potter again. Rick Potter getting the job done because, the name goes overhead, buddy. You get out there and get her done. But you've run several different classes of cars. As I'm looking around here, Rick, I'm looking behind you, and there's a modified skin there.
Yeah, I ran modified for 2 or 3 years. And then I started the parts business, and I figured I can't let Michael Adebali drag me all over the country racing. I got to take care of this business. So I sold that. Then I got the itch and figured I'd get a car that races around here.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And you've ran the semi-lates, and you've ran the modifieds, and we're under this street stock deal. Now, is there going to be any local racing this year for you at home?
Yeah, I'm going to be running Benton Family 17 car at Bedford whenever Jarrett doesn't feel like he wants to, or whenever I want to, then I can run it there.
Okay, well, that's good. That's always a good thing, right? You get to come back, park this thing, get in someone else's car, and go race a little bit locally. Because, I know, just talking to you for 5 minutes, Ricky, you're definitely a blue-collar racer that loves the local area and has put a lot of time and effort with everything involving racing in this region.
Oh yeah, we're definitely hit a bunch of shows like Bedford, Cumberland, Winchester. I don't know. I might even see about that Hagerstown thing if we could get that car to fit the rules some. Because I like 8-inch tire racing. That's where I think it's at. Them semi-lates with them big tires is fun, but it's a lot of fun with them little 8-inch tires.
Yeah, I bet you it is, for sure, for sure. Now, I'm sitting here, and it's just you and Wayne, correct? It's just the two of you that are going to be going on this journey, as I call it.
Yes, I had a whole big herd of them going until I decided that I'm not going to come back. I'm going to stay down there for a couple weekends and race. So then they all started backing out. We'll see if any of them show up at Scrabbering or not.
Okay, I gotcha. Now, you're running actually the crate. You're not doing the 358. You're doing the crate portion.
Yes, great. I watched so many of them races, and all the big races are won by the crate motors. For some reason, they're 100 horsepower less, but it's the weight brake and the spoiler and the junk tires that we got to run. Them crate motors is just good enough to win most all the big races.
Okay, so maybe that crate motor right there, if it's down a little bit on a horse, but it gets a hold of the racetrack for you, and gets everything turning attitude wise on the race car. Talking a little bit about last year, Rick. You and I had talked there that your racing event there a couple weeks back, which was phenomenally packed. That was huge, and ladies and gentlemen, to give you a little heads up on that. Rick Potter Racing puts on a racing, it's like a party, basically. It's a party. And there's literally between 250 and 300 people there, correct?
Yes, this year is about 256, and last year was 300 and a couple.
That's amazing. And we were there, obviously, and it's one heck of a meal. They do a lot of small games of chance, and I've seen people, the Akies, Alta Belly, Wines, Spike Moore from Defiance. There was a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Dustin from Lies Tire, American Racing Tire there, was there on hand. And you also did something that I thought, and Rick was there, obviously, talking and emceeing a lot of it. You did something there that was highly commendable, I thought, and I can't say enough about it, is you gave out awards.
Yeah, for the semi-late division and the pure stock champion. Gave out awards for the champion, like the hard luck, the most improved, the crew chief, and rookie of the year for the semi-lates. I do that every year. I think it's the third year we've done it.
Wow, and that's amazing. Something that you don't have to do ain't even your responsibility, Rick. And but you as a racer, obviously, and I'm a big believer in those kind of awards. I got to be honest. I know we hear some chatter, it's just a piece of plastic. I don't look at it like that, because after 10 years, after 15 years, after 20 years, after 40 years, after 50 years, 60 years, who knows? If that thing's still around, that's a piece of history.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, I'll take a big check over more money any day. If they're paying $500 to win and say, well, we'll give you $250 and a big giant check or something, I say, I'll take the check.
There you go, because you can tack it up on the wall, which obviously you have, some nice checks up there, hanging up there on the wall. I see a lot of Bedford, obviously, feature winners there from Bedford, and D&D Auto Recycling there is a sponsor on them checks. And, I tell you, Bud, we talked a little bit before we got here, and you mentioned Heston, and I look up and see a Heston check up there.
Yeah, that was true. Well, what is that? 2012, I think that one is. A lot of them trophies up are Hill Valley and Heston trophies, Bedford, Winchester, Cumberland. Almost had one at Path Valley down there with the late models at one time. So, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm probably up around 30 feature wins or something.
And how many years you been racing, roughly, Rick?
First race was in 2000. And I quit there for a while, around 13, and then started back up in 17 with the modified, and then took another year off, and been since 19.
Now, how long do you think you're going to continue to do this, Rick?
Well, I'm 53, and I always said I wanted to do something like this, like a touring series for a street stock. Maybe this could be the last year. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, I tell you, I'm going to be honest. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's probably not the last year. I don't see you saying this is the last year and being done. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, I'm Tommy Cordell from Elbows Up Dirt Productions, brought to you by Chance's Used Auto Parts in Town, Maryland. That's exactly right. Scrap Daddy, see him down there. 30-plus years in the business. He'll get you fixed up with any used auto parts. Fred and I were personally down there, and he's got one heck of a lot, doesn't he, Freddie? You come in there for parts, he'll get you fixed right up. I guarantee you, Scrap Daddy will. Yeah, I tell you, yeah, I don't think it's your last year. I was gonna say I just don't think it's just your last year. I think you got several more years, Rick Potter, left in you right there. Now I look up there and I see that I like that hood up there, the roof. I mean, the Real Outlaw Dozer. I like that.
Well, that's because I'm in a motorcycle club, the Outlaws, and that's my club name, Dozer. So that's why it's on the car. And the 15 is the 15th letter of the alphabet is what? Oh, so that's why it's that.
Okay, I gotcha. And Rick, now were you a race fan before you went racing and decided?
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, my grandfather would take me to Bedford, Jennerstown, all over the place. We'd go everywhere to races, and then got away from it for a while until I was like 18, 19, and then I started going to races myself, and I think I was, 2000, so I'd have been in my early 30s before I started racing.
Okay, so early 30s then. Yeah, that would have been about right. You got into it then. And beautiful shop here. Now, you made mention that you sell fuel, you sell tires, and you sell a little bit of everything. You kind of got a little race shop going here yourself.
Yeah, I take a trailer up to Bedford and sell just about anything you need on a race night. I keep stocked in the trailer. You need anything for a car, I can usually get it in a day from Close Racing Supply. Sell American race tires and Renegade fuel. Okay.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, for sure. I learned something there. I didn't realize that. Now I also look up there and I see a Bob Elbin Memorial 2025 trophy. Tell me a little bit about that. Obviously, you know Bob Elbin, Jeff Ryan, the connection there like that. Bob is not with us, unfortunately. God rest his soul. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's good that Elbins do something like that for every division up there, not just the late models. There was extra money in laps for that night. So, that was something really nice they did. I think I led every lap that night. Yeah, it was a pretty good race.
Okay, so that obviously got you that. Now, also to the left of it there, I see a DJ Troutman Memorial deal there. And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was in 24 I got that one. And I missed it by one spot this year from getting it, so, yeah.
Well, that's not too bad. You won, and then you were a runner-up, Rick. You won, and you were a runner-up. So I tell you, is this probably the biggest trip you've ever taken pulling the race car?
I raced at Volusia before in the modified. Michael used to drag me all over the country and follow him. He said, "Come on, we'll go race." I said, "This is my first year." You'll be okay. So I've been to Volusia, East Bay, Atomic, everywhere, all the big tracks.
Okay. So you've not only you local, regionally, but you've spread out there, obviously. And wow, is there anything you want to do yet on the bucket list with this racing, Rick?
I'd like to hit Eldora, race Eldora, and they got a street stock class out there that we might be able to get into. This year I get to go to a track with the street stock, Paducah. That's a track I always wanted to hit. Yeah, just do this series and hopefully finish a good top 5 or 10 in them cars is going to be something to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you said, the car counts there just to make the show, obviously. And some of the people you were naming, Ivy is one of them, stands out right there. Fast Freddie and I, we even said about, we might just make a trip with you with one of them. If you got room, we might get in there and head down and check one of these events out, and cover it while you're down there running.
Yeah, and I qualify for Rookie of the Year this year to run that, a 53-year-old rookie.
Well, there ain't nothing wrong with that. 53-year-old rookie, ladies and gentlemen. You can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. Well, I tell you, a lot of people probably wish they were loading up to go with you now. They got the itch in this weather. Obviously, there's this snow everywhere, and it's bitter cold out, and it's You're getting in the racing, but it's hard to get into it when it's 12 degrees outside.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be cold down there on Saturday. I think a cold front's coming in. It's going to be in the low 20s in South Georgia. So that'd be cold.
Yeah, definitely have to have the long sleeves on. There's no doubt about it. Well, I tell you what, Rick, what we'll do here is before we cut out here is Freddie's going to pick up here and get you and get a good look here all the way around this machine, and we'll come over here and let Freddie take a pan around there. Beautiful race car. Once again, this car, a lot of work's been done at ARC. Roy Anderson and Mikey Corbin and David Kaiser down there. And obviously, Mikey runs a modified, and David was highly successful in the crate last year. And I think he's going to run some limiteds, too.
Yeah, I think he's going to limiteds and the crate deal for sure. Mikey's always in the modified. You can't find a better group of people down there.
Yeah, I agree. They're really good. Fred, did you get a good view of this thing? This thing's sharp. I'm going to tell you, sharp as a tack. It's a beautiful race machine. And like I said, once we flip this thing off and gather up, these guys, they got a pile of stuff here left to put in, and they're going to load up, and they're going to head down the pike.
Yep, we're going to grab some fuel and probably a coffee and start down the road.
Well, there you have it. I tell you what, Rick Potter, I'm really glad we got to come up here tonight and take a look at your shop, talk to you guys, and we really support what you're doing here. We think this is great. This is what it's all about, you know. This is like get you more excited, more than going to hunting camp, you know.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. This has been exciting. I was looking forward to this here for weeks now.
Awesome. And I tell you, like I said, don't be surprised if you'll tag along there with you at one of these shows, and we wish you the best of luck as soon as you hit the racetrack tomorrow, correct? You hit the racetrack tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. Tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, well, I tell you, Rick, thanks for having us up here. I appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in. I'm Tommy Cordell from Elbows Up Dirt Productions. Another mobile episode of The Bottom Line brought to you by Chaz's Used Auto Parts in Taneytown, Maryland. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you actually Saturday. We'll see you Saturday at the York Racing Extravaganza. Take care. And remember, whatever you do, do it elbows up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.